So, when group of cells perform similar function, we call that structure as what? Tissue. Study of tissues is called as histology. Okay. Multiple tissues having similar function results in formation of what? Organs. So, what is an organ? Multiple tissues fulfilling similar function. They form organs. When multiple organs come together to perform similar function, we have something called as organ systems. Organ system, for example, nervous system. We have a musculoskeletal system. We have digestive system, respiratory system, reproductive system, excretory system. What are they? Organ systems. When multiple organ systems support life, you call that as organism. Can we say bacteria is an organism? Can we say virus is an organism? You know virus, COVID, our teacher. Is virus an organism? Okay. Is a fungus an organism? No. Is a plant an organism? Plant, no plant. Tree, mosquito, cockroach, not CJP but cockroach. Yes and no. Is cockroach an organism? Look, if they possess all these things, that is an organism. Is an elephant an organism? Are you an organism? Then back to the same question, is virus an organism? Is bacterium an organism? Yes and no. Is virus an organism? You went to a different school. Do you think virus has organ systems? Can virus survive without the help of another living cell? This was a preliminary question. Which of the following organisms cannot be grown in the lab? Previous UPSC preliminary question, under which was objective. Options included bacteria, virus, fungus, insects. What is the answer? Virus cannot be grown in the lab. Why not? Can we grow plants in the lab? Can we grow bacteria in the lab? Can we grow fungi in the lab? Yes. Can we grow humans in the lab? Of course, yes. Can we grow virus in the lab? We're talking about wet market Wuhan Institute of Virology or what? COVID, home of COVID. Virus doesn't survive in the absence of another living cell. Virus cannot be grown in the lab. Virus cannot survive on the artificial growth medium. Except viruses. All other life forms can be grown in the lab except viruses. Viruses need another cell to survive because they lack cell composition. That is why R.H. Whittaker could not place virus in any of the 5 kingdom classification of all animals. You know 5 kingdom classification of animals? What is the 5 kingdom classification of animals given by or proposed by R.H. Whittaker? Number 1 is Protista, prokaryote unicellular. So, Monera, Protista. Monera, prokaryotic, yes, unicellular. Protista, yes, eukaryotic, unicellular. And then kingdom fungi or fungi. Then kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. So, all living organisms are classified into 5 kingdoms. But viruses could not be placed in any of these known kingdoms. Why? Viruses lack a true cell. They cannot survive without the help of another living cell. Hence, viruses are not considered as true organisms. They are inert macromolecules. When come in contact with another living cell, they multiply. If they do not come in contact with another living cell, they remain inert. That means they look like dead unless they come in contact with another living cell. Viruses are very tricky organisms. You understand this? The perfect raw material to produce a deadly, infectious, pathogenic enemy. So the future wars will be biowars, and the weapon would be genetically engineered virus. Silent killers they would become. COVID-19 was a sample, trial, teaser. Of course, yes. Cancer is not spreadable, you are saying. Of course. So virus can move from one person to another person. Yes, through body fluid, through blood, through contact, through the phlegm or sputum. So through any of those things, virus spreads. But cancer largely is a genetic issue, largely, which is confined to cells of a person. As long as that malfunctioning genetic code is present in that person because of multiple factors, that only that person gets affected. You understand? The biology of cancer is little different. Cancer is not caused by any microorganism particularly, though we have exceptions. For example, carcinogenic bacteria, carcinogenic viruses. So some bacteria cause cancers, certain viruses also cause cancers, but they are rare. What is that bacteria which cause cancer, carcinogenic bacteria? So we have Helicobacter pylori, Campylobacter jejuni. These are simple examples of carcinogenic bacteria. So Helicobacter pylori causes stomach cancer. Campylobacter jejuni causes small intestine cancer. Usually they are present in the street foods. Be cautious, especially the delicious pani puri can be deadly. You have no idea. Okay, sorry. Carcinogenic bacteria. What about carcinogenic viruses? For example, Epstein-Barr virus. Which bar? Epstein-Barr. Okay. And then human papilloma virus. Heard about this, especially women? Yes. HPV vaccine is there, which causes cancer cervix of the uterus. You understand Telugu? Garbhashaya Mukhadwara cancer is caused by a virus, human papilloma virus or Epstein-Barr virus. They cause cancers. So carcinogenic viruses, cancer causing virus. Simple examples. So Epstein-Barr virus, human papilloma virus. These are simple examples. Cancer can spread, but not in all people. Cancer biology is a little different. It's pretty complex. For example, air pollution causes lung cancer in some people, not in all people. You don't understand this? Exposure to UV light, sunlight, causes cancer in some people, called as melanoma, skin cancer. Not in all people. You understand this? Consuming oily foods, free radicals are there in oily foods, you know that. It causes cancer of the digestive tract, other cancers, but not in all people. Every day Ashok Nagar's UPSC civil service exam aspirants, they eat a lot of oily stuff, yes and no, they are still alive. Some of them become IAS also. They are living now, luckily. Though eating all nonsense on the streets of Ashok Nagar slum, you know, they are still surviving. How? Nothing is same for all. There are always exceptions. So it is difficult to draw a connecting line between all. Yes, cancer largely is metabolic, but some cancers are inherited. Family, you know, there is a history, family history of cancers. But some people develop cancer when they are exposed to certain toxic triggers, radiation, ultraviolet, free radical food consumption, pollution, whatever it is. Yes or no? So some people develop them. Some people get it as a gift from their ancestors. You will understand this? And for some cancers, we don't know the reasons. Some. You get it? because you can say, hey, why doctors are there, then they should answer it. Actually, it's all about priorities, whether you need to know the reason or you need treatment. What is more important? We allocate our resources on a priority basis. Should we try to allocate our resources to know the cancer, or should we allocate our resources to cure it or to treat it? What is the priority? We should choose only one, because cancer is often deadly, may consume lot of resources and time also. Then what is the priority? To treat. Hence, we don't worry too much about the causes. Sometimes we cannot establish the cause also. It may take time and lot of money also. Instead of spending the time and money on knowing the reason, if we can spend the time and money in treating it, we can save a life. So we choose. So we can know the reasons, provided we spend our resources. But we wish to spend the resources wisely and prioritize. You get it? Often we have to choose, and making that choice is not easy. Yes or no? To save the life of a person or to know the reason why. If you have to choose one, then it is difficult. Yes or no? But for many diseases, knowing the reason is helpful, because it will help us treat the disease better. But in some cases, it is complex. Hence, we choose, we prioritize. Anyways, so cancers are often genetic and metabolic, confined to individuals, and they are not communicable, nor they are vector borne. Vector borne means through a transmitting agent like virus or bacterium. But again, there are certain carcinogenic bacteria and viruses which spread from one person to another, but not all cancers. Are you able to understand this? So that is another subject here. Getting back. So organisms having these components are called as living or life forms. We call them as living. We also can call them as biotic forms. We can call them as living beings. Being is enough, but being is not enough here. Living beings. And we have some things which are called as non-living. We don't call non-living as organisms. Do you understand this? We don't call non-living as non-living organism. We don't have such things as non-living organism. Then what do we have? Non-living things or dead organism. Are you able to understand this? Can we have something called as non-living organism? Can we have it? If it once lived, now it is not, we call it as dead. Or if it simply exists, we call it as non-living thing. For example, this is thing, plywood. That chair is non-living thing. This is non-living thing, not non-living organism. Yes, please. It's an energy form. Okay. It is difficult to explain abstracts, For example, wind, light, heat, they are the energy forms here. Please understand this. They are energy forms. They are also called as factors. Often they act as catalysts. You understand this? For example, again we have to go back to universe. Universe is made of two things. What are they? Though third element can be mentioned, universe is made of two things. What are they? Number one is, second is, matter can be converted to energy, energy can be converted to matter. They are interchangeable, interconvertible. You understand this? Yes. And third, of course, we can have it, but again, it is an abstract idea as of now, thanks to Stephen Hawking. Time also, but again, it is abstract. As of now, it is an abstract. We cannot reason it out. You understand this? It is an abstract idea. So, what is that here? Matter and energy. These are the primordial components of universe. And many people, many physicists say that life is a product of accident, which is not supposed to be here, and we don't know why it is here. Abstract ideas. So, matter and energy, and sunlight is this, which comes because of the matter present in stars, which comes as a product of nuclear fusion. And the matter responsible for this is hydrogen. Matter is hydrogen, energy is sunlight. Process is nuclear fusion, which occurs in stars. Nearest star is sun. Yes or no? Sunlight, you know that? We call it as insolation, incoming solar radiation, insolation. So, it is a product of matter, which transformed into energy, and pockets of energy traveling at the speed of light is called as, we have something called as the solar radiation. So, that is one type of energy which is beyond this description here in general. So, non-living thing or living being. So, two different things. Non-living things are also called as what? Just ecological terminology, that's all. Living beings, we call them as biotic because they possess life. Life is also called as bios. Non-living things are also called as abiotic because they don't possess life. So, in that sense, yeah. Okay, getting back, organism means it should possess cells, tissues, organs, organ systems. Hence, they become organisms. And group of organisms belonging to same species is called as what? Population. That is the second organizational level in ecology. And what is the third organizational level in ecology? First is individual, second is population, third is called as community. What is community here? Community is also group of organisms which belong to multiple species. It's a group of organisms which belong to multiple species. Multiple species. For example, in general, in many regions like a lake or a pond or a river or an ocean or a sea or in a forest or in a grassland, we have organisms which live in groups which belong to multiple species. Insects are there, birds are there, amphibians are there, reptiles are there, trees are there, plants are there, and then we have a lot of algae and fungi are also there. They all belong to different species, but they all live together. Now, we call them as community. Community means what? Group of organisms which belong to multiple species. We call them as community. And fourth level of organization is called as ecosystem. A very, very important term in ecology, because ecosystem is considered as structural and functional. Structural and functional unit of ecology is ecosystem. Now, what is ecosystem? Ecosystem is a region or area, especially on earth. That's what we are trying to know. Smallest, self-sufficient, self-regulating region or area with community of living organisms, communities of living organisms surrounded by and influenced by non-living. Non-living are also called as physical surroundings. So, ecosystem is a region or area on the earth which is relatively smaller but self-sufficient, self-regulatory. That area comprises of communities of organisms. Communities of organisms surrounded by and are influenced by physical surroundings. Surrounded by and influenced by physical entities. What do you mean by physical entities here? What do you mean by physical here? Physical here means we have climatic and edaphic factors. Climatic and edaphic. When we say edaphic, we mean soil. Soil, minerals and nutrients. These are the factors. Apart from that, climatic means what? We have water or water vapor or liquid water, and of course all those things. What is that? Precipitation. And then apart from that, we have all the gases present here in general, of which we have some pH. We have all these things, of which we have light, heat or temperature. All these factors which are product of climate. So climatic factors, edaphic factors. So these would form the so-called physical surroundings in general, are also called as non-living things, are simply called as abiotic factors. Abiotic factors. You will understand this. So when we say that ecosystem is the smallest region or area on the earth which comprises of communities of living organisms surrounded by and influenced by non-living things. Such a region which is self-sufficient and self-regulatory, which acts as structural and functional unit of ecology, that area or region is called as ecosystem. Because it is unit in ecology, it is very important word we need to focus on. We will learn about it eventually. Yes. So ecosystem. Next level of organization in ecology is, apart from that ecosystem, in general, we have the concept of biome and biosphere. Biome is nothing but a larger area which comprises of multiple ecosystems having similar climate and hence similar biotic and abiotic components. Multiple ecosystems when are studied together in a given region, large region, having similar climate, hence similar biotic and abiotic components. That large area is often referred to as biome. Often biomes are those regions which are on land, land areas are simply called as terrestrial biomes. We'll discuss why only terrestrial, why only on land, what about on water, why can't we call them as aquatic? Yes, for example, life exists in the water also. You get it? This gives us the description of types of ecosystems. In brief, we'll introduce, because later on we will study in detail about types of ecosystems in detail. First introduction here. Usually ecosystems exist on land primarily and then on water also, or in water also. On land we call that type of ecosystems as terrestrial, because this comes from the word terra. Terra means hard. Terra, terrain. You must heard about this. Terrain means what? Land. Because it is hard reaction platform. Yes or no? Relatively harder. So hence terrain. Terra means hard. Terrain. Terrestrial. On land. So terrestrial ecosystem. Second one is on water or in water, called as aquatic ecosystem. Now the concept of biome. Why we mean only terrestrial biomes? Why we do not use the term biome to refer to aquatic ecosystem is a question. Are you able to understand this? Terrestrial ecosystems show diversity from region to region, from latitude to latitude, from altitude to altitude. Land forms differ, hence their physical surroundings and biotic composition. But water bodies, because water is contiguous structure. What is contiguous? Continuous. For example, ocean. Ocean is a very large area having similar conditions. You will understand this. So, it is very difficult to differentiate one part of the ocean to the another part of the same ocean. Often, oceans are interconnected. You must have studied it in geography, yes or no? For example, you had Pangea, yes or no? A single land form on the earth. Few millions of years ago, Pangea was there. When Pangea was separated into two components, what are they? Gondwana and Laurasia. When Gondwana and Laurasia got separated, in between water made its way to form Tethys. Studied about this in geography? Tethys Sea, the earliest ocean, which eventually gave rise to multiple world oceans because of drift and tectonic separation of land masses. Yes or no? Yes. So, oceans are connected and oceans are very large. It is very difficult to separate oceans or rivers because river water moves from land to the ocean. And throughout its course, it is very difficult to separate river in one region to another region. Water moves continuously. You will understand this. So, that is why it is difficult to differentiate ecosystem present on the water or in the water. Hence, we do not differentiate aquatic ecosystem into biome. But land, because of the latitudinal variations, altitudinal variations, climatic variations, they show differences from one region to another. Hence, we use the term biome only to terrestrial ecosystems and not to aquatic ecosystems. Is that clear? So, whenever we say the term biome, we almost always mean ecosystem on land, not in water. And you know the reason now why. Is that clear? So, whenever, unless otherwise specified, when we say biome, we mean terrestrial ecosystem. We mean unless otherwise specified. Yes. See, ice. We are talking about a terrestrial ecosystem if it is completely covered with ice. Please remember, terrestrial ecosystems are of 5 types. Again, we will talk about them because we said terrestrial ecosystems are the ecosystems on land here. So, at high altitude, in general, the ecosystems, terrestrial ecosystems which are present are called as tundra ecosystems. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it, you call it as tundra or tundra, doesn't matter, as long as you know the contextual meaning of it. So, tundra ecosystem and terrestrial ecosystems present on the slopes, mountain slopes are called as taiga ecosystems. Ecosystems present at the junction of or foothills of mountains or hills, they are called as forest ecosystems. And ecosystems present at the lower altitudes, they are called as grassland ecosystem. And ecosystems present in extremes of regions, they are called as desert ecosystems. So, 5 different types of terrestrial biomes exist depending on the altitude, temperature, precipitation and vegetation. At highest possible altitudes, we have tundra ecosystems. Within tundras, we have Arctic tundras and alpine tundras. We will talk about them later. On mountain slopes, we have taiga. And foothills of hills and mountains, we have forests. At lower altitudes, we have grasslands. And extremes of regions, we have deserts. Cold deserts and warm deserts. Cold deserts are also called as temperate deserts. Warm deserts are also called as tropical deserts. Are you able to understand this? Usually, Deserts are found on the western coast or western part of regions. Usually, deserts are found, especially tropical deserts, warm deserts, sandy deserts are found on the western parts of continents. You must have studied this in geography. You look at North America, look at South America, you look at Africa, you look at Asia, especially India, western part. Thar is in the western part. Look at China, Mongolia, Gobi. You understand this? There are some deserts, majority of the deserts are on the western part of the continent or country. You understand this? Okay, we'll talk about them eventually. So, tundras are those regions which are almost always covered with ice because of high altitude, low temperature, low precipitation, low vegetation and lower temperatures. You will understand this? Tundra, frozen parts. If it is in the polar regions, we call them as Arctic tundra, North Pole, South Pole. If it is not in the polar regions, if it is in the mainland region away from polar regions, those tundra ecosystems are called as alpine tundras. For example, Himalayas. The peaks of Himalayan mountain ranges are permanently frozen. Almost throughout the year they are covered with ice. You will understand this. We call them as tundra biome. They are part of terrestrial ecosystem. Hence they are called as biome. Though they are covered with frozen water, still they form the part of terrestrial ecosystem. Please observe this. Okay, getting back here, biome is that large area which includes multiple ecosystems. Next comes the concept of biosphere. So please remember that you must have seen this Venn diagram multiple times in multiple places. Yes or no? For any ecosystem to exist, we need a fine balance of three components of the ecosystem. Number one is usually the gaseous part of it, which we call it as what? Atmos. Atmos means air. Air is everywhere. Yes or no? In the surroundings of almost all living organisms. Unless you are talking about a very extreme of environments like deeper parts of the ocean or deeper parts of the earth's crust or very, very high altitude regions where air is not very available, yes, in abundance. Gaseous part of it. Next is what? The water part of it. And the solid part of it, or the rocks and minerals part of it. When all these forms are present in balance supporting life, we call that part of the earth as, can we say earth is a biosphere? It's a very large representation, yes or no? In fact, the largest of the ecosystems. That's a very abstract idea, isn't it? Because largest, smallest are usually theoretical. They are called as what? Superlatives, we say. Unless we know that something else exists, till then it becomes a superlative. It is relative. It is a product of comparison with unknown. How can you compare something with unknown? Hence, it is abstract idea. Because assuming that what we know is the best is abstract, isn't it? Because until we come to know about other things, this remains the best or the superlative, and that is you are comparing with something else which is non-existent or about which we don't know. Hence, it is abstract idea. Abstract means what? In general, what is abstract? Which paper among your GS 5 papers is abstract paper? Ethics is abstract. Yes or no? UPSC, GS4, ethics. It is a set of abstract ideas. They don't exist in reality. You understand? For example, honesty. Is that a tangible object to see, to sell, to buy, to acquire, to procure? Okay, integrity. Where is it? Come on. What is that? It's an abstract idea. Accountability, responsibility. or you say that something called as a compassion. What is that's an idea, abstract idea, that's all. If somebody showcases it, you treat it as better. That's an abstract idea. Yes or no? Sympathy, empathy, compassion, integrity, honesty, transparency, accountability, responsibility. Yes or no? Virtue. Yes or no? What are all these things? Abstract ideas. People created them as a set of standards to judge somebody as right or wrong. Yes or no? If they possess it, they are right. If they don't, they are wrong. Who are you? What is your life? Do you think you have all these things? If you don't, then why do you judge? What is the purpose of it? Again, society, norms, standards, group. You understand this? And what is right, what is wrong, punish, award, reward, appreciate. You know, all these are for social relationships, so that you can exercise control over others. You understand this? And have an order, so that everything would be in accordance with certain rules and regulations, certain terms and conditions, so that you can have an ideal, utopian ideal called as peace and harmony and stability. Yes and no? All these are abstract ideas. They are utopian ideals. What is utopia? We know Zootopia. What is utopia? What is Zootopia? Zootopia 2 also got released, recently. What is, okay, not Zootopia. What is utopia? Okay, what is Zootopia? Which class is this, she is asking. Out of syllabus class. Zootopia, No. Zootopia? Okay, that is available in multiple languages, by the way. It's a film, it's a movie, animated movie, yes, and Zootopia. Lovely one. 2 I did not watch, maybe I should, yes. 1 I was in love with that, okay. We talk about utopia. What is utopia? Seriously? We have a long way to go. Utopia is a state, a society, an establishment which is ideal, perfect, flawless, and everything is according to the rule, ideals. That perfect, imaginary, flawless society or state, imaginary, ideal, flawless, perfect society or state is called as utopian state or simply utopia. Do we have such a place or society on the earth which is perfect, as per rules, as per book, flawless? That is imaginary. So is perfection. You understand? To establish such a society, if you follow certain rules, they are often called as utopian ideals. You understand? Utopian means you want to establish a flawless, perfect, ideal society. If you follow these things, you will establish utopian society. So, utopian society is the goal, where all people are treated equally. There are no discriminations, no differentiations, no inequalities, egalitarianism. All people have access to everything. All people are happy. Nobody has any problem. And that perfect society is utopia. Many dictators try to establish utopian state. You understand this? So, monarchies or dictatorial regimes, they try to establish such utopian states, hence they fail. But our history is filled with such states, yes and no? You understand this? Our history is filled with. When other people or majority people do it, the remaining people would assume that what others are doing is right. Yes and no? That is what makes you do mistakes. Anyways, we'll talk about them later. Yes. Okay. Utopia. Getting back here. Can we say entire earth is an example of biosphere? Because it has a balance of atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere on which life is possible. That part of the earth where there is a balance of atmosphere or atmospheric, hydrospheric, lithospheric components supporting life. Such a region is called as biosphere. Example, earth is a biosphere. That means we are also part of the biosphere. So, biosphere is us and we are biosphere. So, these are the levels of organization in ecology. So, we have individual, we have common species, that is we call it as what? Population. We have something called as multiple populations living together, communities, and such regions, smallest of which are called as ecosystems, and eventually largest ones are called as biomes, and entire earth is called as a biosphere. Okay, these are levels of organization in ecology. Next is called as governing principles of ecology. Governing principles. So, okay, we will talk about biodiversity because that is a separate discussion here. Biodiversity is a separate topic also after this, pollution, after climate change. Yes, we will talk about biological diversity. Biodiversity is a very important topic, a separate chapter. Yes, pollution, climate change, biodiversity. So, all those will be separate chapters, separate discussions. To understand them better, we are talking about fundamental concepts which are useful for us to understand them better. To understand the implications of pollution, to understand the implications of climate change, to understand the implications of loss of biodiversity, we are discussing about fundamentals or basics. So, we are just doing the basic things here. Yes, please. What about? Notes. Yeah, we will dictate the notes. We are just, introducing you people to the subject, some basic concepts, and we will dictate the notes in the class, and you will write until you say stop. Okay, I'm just on a lighter vein, so don't worry. We'll dictate the notes, and you will get handouts also. Regarding those handouts, I have forwarded the files already to your older batch, I think. Yes, they will give you printouts of those things. For you to refer to PDF or prints you have, but writing, I would prefer writing in the class because that is very useful. That gives you feedback, tangible, organic feedback. Yes, please. Yeah. Yes. Sure, definitely. Actually, in the morning session, it was a combined batch. That's what I have been informed. We already took some classes to them earlier because we had a gap of say 10 days, 13 days, 14 days. Before that, we took classes to them already. But you people missed all those. Okay, July 6th means I was not there because July 4th I left Hyderabad. July 4th I left. That means absolutely I am a stranger to you. Yes and no. And this is the first time we are meeting. Yes and no. That is why. So, may not be some of you, maybe one or two have attended before, but we met earlier. But July 5th, yes please. Okay. Because 4th I left Hyderabad, I was not here. How come we met? Before July 4th. Because I was like, I was thinking maybe I'm living in some hallucinations, illusions. I was not here from 4th of July. I was completely out of Hyderabad. And yesterday I came. In fact, last night, that means today early morning, I came back to Hyderabad. I was not here. I was in another world for the past 2 weeks. So I was like, how could we meet? So anyways, governing principles in ecology. So we have a lot of concepts in this, and you would get to know a lot of terminologies also in this. We have had questions also on this. We have 3 governing principles on which ecosystems work, or in ecology we learn a lot about this. First governing principle is about the principle of energy. Second governing principle in general is principle of limiting factors. Third governing principle is about homeostasis. So these are the three governing principles. What are they? How they influence our understanding of ecology. That is the idea here. Yes. So what is this energy? So we all know that principles of thermodynamics. We talk about the principles of thermodynamics. That means universe is made of matter and energy. Next, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can be transformed from one type of energy to another type of energy. One type of energy to, this is the second principle of thermodynamics. Yes or no? So that is what we rely upon as the source. For example, universal source of energy we call on the earth as what? The solar energy, incoming solar radiation, insolation, solar energy in the form of sunlight. So, of course, we know that this comes from the nearest star, and matter responsible for this is the hydrogen, the lightest and simplest element in the periodic table, and the process is what? In science and technology, we learn about this nuclear fusion. What is nuclear fusion here? Isotopes of hydrogen, deuterium and tritium, when they fuse under huge amount of heat, they form something called as helium plus release of a neutron along with huge amount of heat. And of course, energy can travel in many forms, here light. Yes. So, deuterium, tritium are isotopes of hydrogen. What is isotope? Please know, we're talking about fundamental concepts, and hence I'm trying to add some value to it. Otherwise, it is out of syllabus. Yes or no? What is an isotope? You really did not go to school. I mean, you went to a different school. Yes or no? What is an isotope? You know something called as atom? Atom is the structural and functional unit of matter. Smallest indivisible particle of the universe. Though that is theoretical, practically we divided it. We divided atom also into subatomic particles like protons, neutrons, electrons, positrons, and muons, leptons, bosons. We have a lot of, based on spin electron theorem, we divide them to quantum. You know, quantum realm, quantum physics, particle physics, that is another world. Yes, let's not talk about them. Theoretically, what is that here? Matter is made of structural and functional unit called as atoms in general. Okay. So, often we study atoms through elements in the nature, and all those elements which are available in the nature are mentioned in periodic table. Chemistry you studied in school, maybe in college. Periodic table. You should know periodic table, you should memorize it. What is the first element in periodic table? Excellent, lovely. That school you went was top notch. Hey, nothing personal, okay? Don't take it. What is the first element in the periodic table? Oh, different school you went to. Yes. What is the first element in periodic table? Helium. Wow. What is the first element? Lightest and simplest and first. Hydrogen, is it? Very different school. No idea. Choose one. Any of your choice. Lucky element? Say gold. Or, yeah. Hydrogen, is it? Different school. Hydrogen. Hydrogen. Oh man, different schools you all went to. Yeah. So, on what basis do you, select one? Yes, as lightest and simplest. Please remember, based on subatomic particles. That is your proton, neutron. You understand this? Protons and neutrons in general. Lightest element is that. Please remember, number of protons usually determine what? Yes, please, any idea? Protons are positively charged. Protons are present inside the nucleus. To balance the charge, we have oppositely charged particle outside the nucleus. We call those fundamental particles, subatomic particles, which are present outside the nucleus to balance the charge is called as electron. Because proton is positively charged, to balance it we need which charge? Negative charge. So, number of protons, number of electrons would be equal for balance of charges. Only then we call it as an atom. If there is charge imbalance, we call that element as ion. These are very basics. You are supposed to know all these things. You understand this? Protons and electron numbers should be same. Only then it becomes an atom. If proton and electron numbers are not same, that becomes ion, either positively charged or negatively charged. Usually protons are present inside the nucleus. They are almost always combined with neutrons. So protons and neutrons together are present inside the nucleus of every atom. Hence, protons and neutrons put together are called as nucleons because they are present inside the nucleus. Okay, basic. Number of protons usually indicate the atomic number of that element. What is the least possible number? Okay. Okay, simple. I'm not going to CSAT components here. That's not my subject. Yes? Okay. So, lightest element will have how many protons? Lightest and simplest should have technically 1. That becomes the first element in the periodic table. And that element which occurs in the nature with only 1 proton is only 1. What is that? Hydrogen. Simplest, lightest. It is important. Why I am elaborating on this thing is hydrogen is becoming the next generation fuel in India as we are speaking. So it has contemporary relevance. You should know about it. Yes or no? How do we separate hydrogen? Is it freely available in the nature? Unless you are on the sun. Hydrogen is present in which form on the earth? Water. To get hydrogen, you have to split water. How do we split it? Electrolysis. Little chemistry. To split water, we need energy. You understand this? How we use hydrogen as a fuel? That is the technology we are using now. Hydrogen is a very clean fuel. But hydrogen is not combustible. It is stable. How can you produce energy from that which doesn't catch fire? There lies your technology, called as hydrogen fuel technology. Because coal we burn, use it as a fuel. Liquid, that is kerosene, petrol, diesel, they are liquid, they catch fire, hence we use them as fuels. Or gas, methane, CH4, that catches fire, hence we use it as fuel. But hydrogen doesn't catch fire, then how do we use it as a fuel? Yes and no. That which catches fire, that which burns, can be used as a fuel. That's our conventional technology of producing energy. Yes or no? For example, petrol we put into vehicle. Can it catch fire? Yes. It burns. We call it as combustion. All our vehicles have internal combustion engines. Wherein fuel goes, electricity goes, air goes, fire, boom, and then we have energy. Yes or no? Diesel catches fire, hence we use it as a fuel. But hydrogen doesn't catch fire. Then how do we use it as a fuel? It's a very basic question. Many people ask, yes or no? Then how can it be a promising, futuristic, next generation, clean fuel? That is the question all about. Anyway, don't worry about it. But you should know something about hydrogen. Before we embark on the journey of using hydrogen as a fuel, we should know what is hydrogen. And periodic table first element, we have some doubts. In the name of helium, yes and no. So we'll talk about that. Helium is also our friend. We don't hate anybody. Yes? We treat all people as equal. All elements also as equal. But only thing is, they are different in themselves. Yes? Not because we treat them as different. But they are different from within. and we treat them accordingly. So that we treat them who they are, and what they deserve. Not because we want to treat everyone as equal. Yes or no? Is equality equivalent to justice? It's a long shot, I guess. Should we treat all people as equal without having a regard for who you are and what you actually deserve? Should we treat all people equally? Undermining your identity and your unique strengths and weaknesses. Should we treat all people equally? Should we disregard your own talents, your own identity? Should we treat all people equally? Should we treat all people equally? All the times and all places for all purposes? Should we treat all people equally? Yes or no? I guess I should repeat the question. Sometimes. Yes or no? Only two choices. Not sometimes, not whenever you want, not whenever you don't want. No. Think about it. Think about it. Should we treat all people equally at all times, for all purposes, every time, in every place? Yes or no? Yes? There is a component in GS4 called as a cognitive dissonance. A lovely concept in GS4 ethics. That means we believe in something, but we act exactly in the opposite manner. You get it? That means mutually contradictory manner sometimes we live. And it is okay. People accept it and live anyways. That attitude is called as cognitive dissonance. You will understand this. Yes? Okay, let me give you an example. We should treat all people equally all times. Yes? Okay. If that is the notion, are we living that way? Are we treating all people equally every day? Are we? Okay, imagine you are IAS. Do you treat all people equally? Yes or no? Importance means you do not treat all people equally. We love equality, but are we acting based on our value system in the society every day? Are we living through it? What you believe in is different. What you act showcasing what you believe in is different. For example, you are IPS. How do you treat, do you know how IPS treats a constable? Equally. A home guard? Equally. Non-uniform personnel? Equally. And police, here comes police, preaching equality, called as cognitive dissonance. India is home to VIP culture. On one hand, we believe in equality. On the other hand, we spread and we act in the exactly opposite manner. Yes or no? And we attribute this to circumstances and situations. Yes or no? This phenomenon, which is becoming regular and is a major reason for inequalities being institutionalized, is called as cognitive dissonance. A very lovely topic in ethics GS4. And integrity is when there is an alignment between what you believe in and how you act every day. That's integrity. Not many people have it, especially not civil servants. Yes or no? Civil servants strive for protocol. What is protocol? Special treatment to a civil servant. Yes or no? Wherever they go, whether on official duty or unofficial trip, they want that importance. On one hand, civil servants preach equality. On the other hand, they strive for protocol. This is called as lack of integrity or cognitive dissonance. When all people do it, it becomes normal. Normalization of cognitive dissonance is what is a disease affecting bureaucracy in India. That would be the question in the GS4. You understand? Who doesn't want importance, priority? Don't you love when somebody treats you special? Yes or no? And here we are loving that equality. Should we treat all people equally? Still yes? That's called as cognitive dissonance. We speak many things. When it comes to real action, we choose the opposite and we justify our actions. Yes or no? We see politicians speak a lot. When it comes to meeting common people and listening to their problems, yes or no? You can't even go close to them. Forget about they listening to your problems and solving them. Yes or no? Movie actors, what they show in their movies? How they act in real life? Civil servants, what they learn while they are preparing, what they expect, what they believe in, and how they act in real life. These differences affect integrity and manifest cognitive dissonance. Don't worry, you are not alone. GS4 is a double-edged weapon. It is not only for others, for us also. That's how it should be learnt. You understand this. If you implement it and learn it, in a way you can act it. You can score good marks in GS4. Otherwise, just like others, you score around 100. Even so-called toppers score near 100 because they treat it as just another paper. Knowledge of ethics is not tested in GS4. Competency is tested. You understand this? This is just a sample of it. We'll talk about them later. Yes? What is that we are looking at here? Hydrogen is the lighter. Seriously, time flies in your presence. Okay, time to say goodbye. Okay, thanks for your time and patience. Hope you liked our session and we'll see you in the next session soon. Thank you. Yes.